Welcome to SveNFL.
What's up, y'all?
It's Jonathan Rollins.
Skip me, Sarah.
Two Americans living in Sweden, twice talking about football.
Yeah, that's right. Deja vu, motherfucker.
Oh man, I feel like an idiot. I feel like a coach that gave up 70 points. I'll say that to say that I made a mistake, and we talked for a while, and I forgot to hit record. So we're doing this all over again. Sorry, Skip.
I remember everything we said, so that
all the jokes.
Because I am a robot.
We're gonna get AI to redo what we what we did. But shit, let's build a fun day football. I kind of want to just hop right into it, man. Go back through it before I forget everything. I'm excited. We didn't get the absolute cum shot, the ACS.
No, we did not.
Not this time, because your college team won, your pro team did not. My college team and pro team won, and we'll get to the pro team stuff now. We start with the Giants 49ers from Thursday.
Yeah. Also, well, before we get started, we should. So we're coming to you on Monday. We're doing things a little different because Jonathan's traveling tomorrow, and I have a full day tomorrow as well. So we're gonna do all of the games from Sunday night in this episode, and then the next time we come back to you on Wednesday, we'll come back to you with a recap of the Monday night games, and then the flip them and pick them and preview of next week's games. So, yeah, Giants, 49ers, not everybody had a fun night of football. The Giants got stomped by the 49ers. Yes. I mean, they did score 12 points, but in all honesty, this game was never in doubt. Danny Dimes, not very good in prime time. After this game, he drops to 1-11 in prime time. This man is too white for the bright lights. He can't handle it. They tried to bring...
Why they keep putting the Giants in prime time? That's my question. I don't know.
You know, it's funny. I actually did not know this until I read it the day before, and I was like, "Wait, I thought everyone always talks about how Kirk Cousins is the one who sucks in prime time, but apparently Danny Dimes is worse." I don't know. Yeah. Their game plan here, in one way, was understandable. The Giants defensively, they basically brought the house on every play. They blitzed on like almost 74% of Purdy's dropbacks. Almost 30 total blitzes in the game. And it worked pretty well in the first half, but Shanahan adjusted and started doing the dink and dunk to their playmakers and guys like Kittle and McCaffrey and Debo. Once you get them in space, it's like, it's over.
Keep blitzing. Blitz if you want to.
It's just over. Once they figured that out, Debo, goes for 129 yards and a touchdown. McCaffrey had 85 yards rushing, 34 receiving, also had a touchdown. Tied Jerry Rice for the franchise record for 12 consecutive games with a TD. I mean, this team, since they got McCaffrey, is you said it before in the version that we failed to hit record on, that this man has completely changed his football team. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And kudos to Shanahan for knowing I want to get that guy and preying on a team that's trying to make a big change like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Carolina was trying to, reboot, and they're like, well, we'll take this guy. And it's really changed their team.
I feel bad for Giants fans because I feel like you had a better season than you expected last year, which caused you to come into this year with a lot of hope and high expectations. As a Falcons fan, I know what that feels like. But currently, I would say Matt Breida ain't Saquon Barkley. And your receiver core, I mean, Darius Slayton, Gary Brightwell, Paris Campbell, Wan'Dale Robinson. This is not a receiver core that scares anyone.
No. Confuses.
Confusing is a better word for it. You're like, who are these people?
What? Is this your plan?
I mean,
it's your plan.
they got absolutely boat raced in the time of possession battle too, 20-40. I mean, you're not gonna. You just don't. I look ahead at the Giants' schedule, honestly, and I did after this because I sat down and watched this game. I didn't watch it on Thursday night when it happened, but Friday night, I kind of had the place to myself. And so I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to sit here and watch this game. And as I'm watching it, I pulled up the Giants' schedule, and I'm like, I don't see this team 5, maybe 6 wins. That's all I can see them getting this year.
All right, then we got the Titans-Browns with Tannehill in his same every other game mode. So that next week he's going to kill it. Next week, bet on Tannehill, but this week was his off week, and he was terrorized by a really, 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 really good Browns defense.
The Browns defense is the story of this game. They sacked Tannehill 5 times. They held Tennessee to only 26 total rushing yards. Myles Garrett was everywhere. I mean, it was like every time the pocket collapsed, he was right there.
Yeah.
5 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss, 8 QB hits. They couldn't get anything going. Nothing. They couldn't do shit. And Watson, to his credit, and we said this before too, like when you have a defense that's that good, you don't have to be. Everyone's like, oh, is he ever going to be that elite top 5 quarterback again? You don't need that. You don't need to be that. Just be good.
Just be good, man.
And in this game, he was good. He was 27 for 33, 289 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He still made some bonehead plays where he was like, where he's
going
still
down, he's getting sacked, and he throws the ball back, tries to pitch it back to somebody, and damn near fumbles it away for a huge. Oh man, who knows what would happen then?
I think being thought of as a top 5 quarterback in the league, I think is in his head, and he thinks that that's where he has to get back to. And I disagree. I don't think he ever has to be a top 5 quarterback. I don't think he does. I think he just has to be a top 10 quarterback. That's it.
It's on the team to justify your contract, not you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to justify that big ass contract. No, your agent hooked that up for you. They did their thing. You're getting the money. You got a guaranteed contract. Just play ball, man.
Just play ball. Yeah.
Then we got the Falcons.
And just play ball. Just play ball and try not to like sexually assault anyone.
Yeah. Stop the
possible.
assaults. Yeah. Don't. Yeah.
That's it.
Don't sexually assault.
These are not difficult things.
Play ball. Don't ask anybody to play with your balls. All right. Then we got the Falcons-Lions. Yeah, it felt like a winnable game for y'all, man, as I watched it.
It really did. And that, mostly, again, 3 weeks in a row, I'm so pleased with how much the Atlanta Falcons defense has improved and given this team a chance to win football games. It really is. It's been so long since we've had a decent defense, and it really warmed I think I sent you a text message earlier in the week. There was an article on The Athletic that said that, I think the headline was something like the Atlanta Falcons has the best defense that no one's talking about. Mm-hmm. And to watch the way that they held up in the red zone against the Lions was really, I mean, they just kept giving it, like instead of touchdowns, they were giving up field goals most of the night. They gave up 2 deep shots on busted coverage that led to the Lions touchdowns. But aside from that, they had a pretty good night. My big concern though is the offensive line. Just they're having a hard time giving Ritter. I don't even think Ritter's holding on to the ball too long. I just think that he doesn't have a lot of time to make decisions. He got sacked 7 times in this game. The Falcons' run game, we only had 44 total rushing yards. Most of them went to Bijan. He only had 33 yards rushing on 10 carries. It's just like Algier trucked a motherfucker. It was beautiful to see.
He had the run of the night. Angry runs, baby.
But he only had 12 total yards. So it's like, there's something going on with the offensive line if they can fix that, then we're in good shape. But I have to say full credit to the Lions because they, what a disappointing situation it would have been for Lions fans. You had that amazing, unexpected victory against the Chiefs in Week 1, and then you came out last week and you lost your home opener in a game that you probably could have won. Had you gone out and dropped 2 straight at home, I think the fans would have start to get a little restless.
Yeah.
But they, the defense did their job, and the offense had to be average just to win this game. They only scored 20 points. Goff was, fine.
Yeah, he has some flashes, but the problem was Ritter didn't really have any flashes, and for me, he wasn't passing the eye test, man.
Agreed. And, it was a mixture of him not having time to throw. And then when he did have time to throw, he overthrows his receivers quite frequently. Like he throws it over, like the whole idea of the Atlanta Falcons receiver core is that they're basically a basketball team. They're all over 6'4", 6'5". And he still manages to throw it too high for them to catch it. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I don't know. Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end for the Lions, had a great game. He has quietly kind of emerged as most people, rookie tight ends don't usually matter until like year 2 or 3, but this kid has been really great through 3 games.
Yeah, man.
Really good.
Shout out to him. Then we had the Saints Packers. And Packers. This is an old school football game, man. It felt like an old Lambeau game, and the Packers pulled out a close victory over the Saints. And it was nice. I like games like this. I know people like sparks and fireworks and all of that, but this was a cool old school game.
Yeah, after watching my Falcons play like shit, watching the Saints lose in the dying seconds of the game just sort of made my weekend. It was like this, sort of like the second best thing that could have happened last night. This was a tale of 2 halves. The Saints defense was balling. It was a mixture of like they were, they put a lot of pressure on Jordan Love. And Jordan Love made a lot of really bad passes where he was overthrowing his receivers, shots that could have been touchdowns, and he's overthrowing them by 10 yards. But credit to the Green Bay Packers defense too, because they woke up in the second half, and
shut them out. Yeah.
Blanked them in the second half. And then Jordan Love, for whatever reason, woke up in the fourth quarter and dropped 18 points on them, and played some very inspiring football in front of the home crowd, tiptoeing down the sideline on a run when everybody thought he was going to go out of bounds. And, he kind of balled the fuck out in the fourth quarter.
You know what I like that they did? They did the 2-point conversion 1 drive early. So it took pressure off of them.
Yeah.
To really have to get it later. So on the first touchdown, they went ahead and made it 11 points instead of making it 10 and trying to scrap in and go for 2 points later. I like that they did that. That was a cool little thing.
It was interesting. It's one of those plays where, if you don't get it, everyone's going to blame LaFleur.
Yeah.
But because he got it, LaFleur's a genius.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got it, and it was a ballsy move. We'll get to Josh McDaniels later when it comes to idiot boneheads
making some
moves.
Yeah, making some moves.
But yeah, the Packers pulled it out at home. Romeo Doubs looked great. He had some beautiful catches.
Somebody said all their receivers are second year or younger. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool, man. With Jordan Love being the experienced veteran in the room.
I think Romeo Doubs is the only one here that I see on the list who's, Jaden Reed, Luke Musgrave. This kid I can't. Dontavian Wicks, they're all rookies.
Right. And then Watson is only a second-year player when he gets back. So they
Mhm.
just got a young. If that receiver core turns out to be hot, man, that NFC North got something to worry about for the next 2 years.
Great to see that they could win a game without
Christian Watson. Or you mean yeah, I know you're talking about the running back. Jones.
Yeah. Aaron Jones.
Aaron.
Aaron. Because I was a little worried about them when they announced that pretty late, like right before the game started. They announced that he wasn't going to go. Also, we failed to mention that Derek Carr got knocked out of this game with a shoulder injury. We got to see some Jameis Winston, who he was fine.
Same stats.
Certainly not the reason they lost. But
yeah, Jameis was trying. It's just Packers defense is good, Saints defense is good, and we got a defensive matchup that we thought we were going to get anyway. So we bet the under.
Speaking of defensive matchups, what the hell happened here, Denver Broncos?
Yeah, they lit a match and set themselves on fire. Miami Dolphins putting up 70 points. I was beside myself with joy last night.
Bet.
We were running around my living room. I'm falling all over the place. We're breaking shit. It was insane. Dolphins breaking records. I'm breaking shit in my living room. They're breaking records. It was fantastic. I loved every minute of it. Every week we're seeing new parts of this offense coming out. The first week I had never seen that sprint towards the sideline, snap the ball straight out of motion into a deep route. I had never seen that before. Then last week I hadn't seen a dig route going into a wheel. And then this week I hadn't seen a motion into a screen to the motioning player. I don't know, man. This is some cool stuff. And I think Miami might be way ahead of the league right now. And they're just going to be putting up a lot of points, man. And they've won, and 4 touchdowns by 2 players. It's crazy. 2 running backs. The running game looked nasty. The offensive line looks fixed. Tua is Tua. And it's like, what is going to happen, man? The thing you're supposed to do is hurt Tua. Nobody's going to hurt him. Like, the offensive line is a wall. It's great.
So they had 8 total touchdowns last night. Is that true?
They had 10 touchdowns.
10 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And like over 700 yards total offense.
729 or something like that, second most ever. And they could have scored the most points ever, but they took a knee at the end. The most points ever is 72, and they had 70. They could have kicked the field goal at the end, but they decided to take a knee. The crowd was booing.
Now, you had a theory about why Miami was so motivated to beat Sean Payton.
Yeah, man. Sean Payton came. It was a few things. First of all, Mike McDaniel was a ball boy for the Broncos growing up.
Yep.
And they never even looked at him to be the head coach. They didn't even get an interview. Sean Payton last year was saying that Tua needed to be benched. He was an analyst, and he was saying Tua needed to be benched. And I feel like Mike McDaniel tries to get back at these people. Like last year, he was trying to go at the Chargers and like make Tua the star. And I think that's why they failed, because he overdid it. And this time, and against the 49ers, he was trying to show off with Tua. And then they failed. And this time, it seems like he might be a vindictive dude, man. And,
well,
he was trying to stick it to Sean Payton.
Sean Payton got his wish. Tua Tagovailoa was benched in this game. When the score got out of hand, Mike White came in, went 2 for 2, and threw a touchdown pass himself. So be careful what you wish for, Sean Payton.
Exactly.
Be careful what you wish for. Interesting that he never got an interview and I'm assuming, and this was before
Nathaniel
he got
Hackett.
so they took Nathaniel Hackett instead. Oh God, do the math on that one. Wow.
Yeah.
This was crazy. I mean, we were sitting here on the sofa on our end me and the kids were just like, what the fuck is happening? I wish we could have borrowed some of your points. You could have stuck them in a truck and driven them up to Atlanta. Probably.
Or Tua could have thrown them to you with his offhand since he threw 2 touchdowns like that.
Exactly.
I'd like to donate 14 points to Atlanta.
I don't think I've ever seen Atlanta win a game like this, ever. You guys must have been loving it.
Yeah. I've seen some blowouts, but this was a complete every facet of the game, except for special teams. We did give up a special teams touchdown, but it was like complete dominance of a team where it felt like everything went right. We're just running the ball all over these guys. They had over 350 rushing yards and over 350 passing yards in the same game.
I want to give a shout out to the reporter who threw some just A-level shade at Sean Payton in the post-game presser as Payton was talking about how embarrassed he was by the result. And the reporter asked him, I know you said it's embarrassing, but this is kind of a historic game. To which Payton said, yeah, I'm aware. The reporter said, third time a team has scored 70 points and had over 700 yards. And Payton says, what's the question? The reporter says, how do you feel about it being historically embarrassing? Payton's like, I just told you. Next question. I mean,
that's fantastic.
This guy, I'm hoping this is a Dolphins beat reporter who asked him this question because probably. That is like, I mean, that is some serious. They need to give that man or woman a key to the city for asking that question. That was pretty great.
And they're saying Mike McDaniel gets up for these Hall of Fame coaches that he goes up against. So it's like, and there's a few more. No, Super Bowl winning coaches is what they said. Super Bowl winning coaches is kind of a thing that he just takes them down. So it's fun, man. I'm ready to see what else they got in this offense. There's got to be more. It's got to be a headache for any team that's got to go up against them.
I said it last week. You don't want to see this team on your schedule for next week.
Nah. Until somebody figures something out. And they're not just doing the deep over the middle anymore. It's woof. It's tough.
Crazy.
I might have been wrong when I picked them to lose the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
All right, Chargers Vikings. This was a Chargers-y Vikings-y game.
Indeed. The two teams who just, for whatever reason, always wind up in a one-score game late. Yeah. And somebody had to win. Somebody had to lose. And the Chargers, I mean, both teams made mistakes late. Brandon Staley made a number of like weird coaching decisions in the fourth quarter that could have given this game away. Yeah. But ultimately, in the end, the Vikings just couldn't. They didn't have what it took in the end to sort of to pull it. You kind of felt like it was coming, some sort of late game heroics. But Cousins gets picked off in the end zone at the end, and that was pretty much the ball game. 28-24.
Saved Brandon Staley's job.
I think Justin Herbert saved Brandon Staley's job. I mean, the stat lines between these two quarterbacks are just insane. Justin Herbert is 40 for 47, 405 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins is 32 for 50, 367 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. The pick was obviously at the end as they're trying to win the game, but it was almost 100 passes thrown by these two guys.
Yeah,
I mean, Herbert didn't really have a choice. He had to throw the ball. They couldn't run the ball. For some reason, the Chargers' run game it just doesn't work without Austin Eckler, who did not play in this game. Joshua Kelly had 11 carries for 12 yards. I mean, this is like, wow. He's their leading rusher. Keenan Allen had a day, 18 catches for 215 yards. Mike Williams had 121 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen threw a touchdown to Mike Williams in this game. That was crazy. That was so great. I loved it.
Super wide open gadget play. Yeah.
I don't know. The Vikings
in trouble.
0-3 is never a good thing. And I don't. They feel like 2 years ago they lost all these one-score games, and last year they won them all. I feel like they've regressed back to what we thought they were 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and Brandon Staley lives to fight another day. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, man. He's got to be on the shortest leash ever.
Man,
Then we got,
it would have been terrible had he lost this game.
It's like he got to get fired. Then we got the Patriots Jets.
Shit bowl.
Shootout.
Shit bowl.
Shit bowl. Brought to you by Xlex. Who expected anything different? This is what we expected. We put a parlay bet on this one. We knew this was going to be a low-scoring game that the Jets lose. And that's what we got.
I mean, I felt like the Patriots gave the Jets multiple opportunities to win this game late.
Yeah, they're like a bad team too, man. They're almost the same team, except for Mac Jones is more serviceable, and Patriots got a little. No, it's like the same team. Now I think about it, and the Patriots have a better coach.
I mean, they literally gave them 3 chances. The defense gave them 3 chances to win this game. After the Jets scored their only touchdown of the game to make it to get within 3 points, it's 13-10 at that point. They forced 3 straight punts from the Patriots, which, there you go.
That's it. All you need is
you got 3 straight punts. You've got almost 2 minutes or almost 3 minutes on the clock, which is plenty of time if you have a serviceable quarterback to move down the field and win this football game. And, instead of doing that, Zach Wilson gets a safety. You said it. Matthew Judon was probably going to decide this game, and he did. He wrapped him up in the end zone. Yeah. Patriots go up 15-10. And even then, you can still – they force the Patriots to a 3-and-out. They get the ball back. And then, they
almost caught that Hail Mary.
They did almost catch that Hail Mary. Randall Cobb was right there. It was he could have had it. If he was just a little to the left, but I think we've spoken about this before. I just feel like I can understand that you are hoping that Zach Wilson, after a year of being in the system and having sat behind Rodgers throughout training camp, like maybe this kid has learned something. Maybe he's evolved. Maybe he's better. But I think that through 2 games, I just feel like the Jets organization, you cannot watch these last 2 games and think that it's okay to play out the rest of the season with Zach Wilson as your quarterback. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that they got to go find something, anything.
It makes it look like they don't know, like they're bad at their jobs. You know what I mean? Because it's a mind fuck for all of us who are like used to the NFL being, for the most part, a meritocracy. And then you get this guy out here playing like shit, and we all see it. We all know it on the sidelines. It looks like the players are like, what the fuck? And then this guy comes back out there and then fucks up again. It's like, it's not fair.
You're either bad at your job or you don't care. And I don't know which one's worse. Yeah. And I don't think it's that you don't care.
Right.
Or it could mean, I guess there is a universe where it's like I guess we're just going to give up on this season.
Yeah.
But what does that say to the other 52 guys on the team?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
All of them could go out there and break their ankle,
Exactly.
Not fair at all. You should be giving them the best opportunity to have success. Then we got the Bills-Washington. The Bills were on. We all had the Bills on upset alert. We were like, Washington's pretty frisky. Bills better be on their P's and Q's. And the Bills came out on their P's and motherfucking Q's, man. They beat the brakes off Washington.
They were out here sacking and picking off Sam Howell over and over and over and over, my friend. Jesus Christ. 9 sacks. They had 9 sacks in this game. 9 sacks, 4 interceptions. I think they fumbled too. Yeah, Antonio Gibson fumbled the ball. 9 sacks, 10 tackles for a loss, 15 QB hits.
Yeah.
And, we said it before, the Commanders had played pretty well defensively in the first half.
Yeah.
Buffalo only put up 16 points. It's 16-0 at the half. That's you can still get back in that football game.
Yeah. Yeah, home.
But they the Bills defense was just everywhere. And Sam Howell, this was Sam Howell's welcome to the NFL moment. Like,
Yeah.
This is harder than you think.
Yeah.
And then after all those picks, and obviously, when you have that many turnovers, Buffalo's playing with a short field all night long.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, it just got completely out of hand. Buffalo scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, and it was just like lights out. Lights out.
Damn.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, not much more to say about that. Nothing to say about that. Then we got the Texans Jaguars in the upset of the week.
How about it?
Should have called it. I looked at it, but I didn't call it.
This is interesting. It's a tough game for the Jaguars last week too, where they only managed a couple of field goals against the Chiefs. And with the Texans looking like it could be a get-right game for the Jaguars, T-Law and Associates came out and just fell flat on their faces, to be honest.
Yeah, man. They didn't show up to court.
Exactly. They've been held in contempt. And I felt pretty lucky, actually. I was forced to pick up C.J. Stroud as my quarterback in fantasy because both of my quarterbacks were injured.
He looked good.
And I was worried, but he was great, man. He was, 20 for 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. He played clean. He looked great. And it wasn't like they had much of a run game because, Dameon Pierce had a rushing touchdown, but he only had 31 total rushing yards. So it was really kind of on Stroud to win this game. And him and Tank Dell had a night. Tank Dell had 5 receptions for 145 yards and a touchdown. I think the touchdown was it was like a busted coverage 68-yard touchdown pass where it was one of those ones where he catches it and there ain't a Jaguar in sight. You're like, what is going on here?
Yeah. Is that whole division 1 and 2? Oh no, Colts won. Colts are winning the division 2-1 or 2-1 right now.
That's so crazy.
The rest of the teams are 1 and 2. What a shitty division.
I have to imagine the Jaguars are feeling. Everyone was just had crowned the Jaguars before the season even started. And then, fine, you lose to the Chiefs. Nobody thought you were going to win that game. But you come out and you drop 37 points to what's supposed to be one of the worst teams in football. I'm really impressed with what D'Amico Ryans is doing in Houston.
I was going to say that, man. Jacksonville their window might be closing. They better get that shit together.
I really think that, D'Amico Ryans is doing a great job. They blocked a punt in this game too, didn't they?
Did they? I didn't see that.
I think the rookie blocked a punt. Will Anderson.
Dope. Nice. Good.
So between Will Anderson Jr., the rookie edge rusher, and C.J. Stroud, their rookie quarterback, Texans look all right.
Yeah, they look all right. Then we got the Colts and the Ravens in another upset.
Overtime thriller.
What the hell? That's what I was thinking as I watched this. Is this really happening? Did they just did this? And they indeed just did this. 19-22, man. Was it Andy Dalton came in there? No, he was on the Panthers.
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner Minshew, that's what it was, yeah.
He's out here wheeling and dealing. It's kind of hard to understand how the Ravens lost this game.
I don't get it.
Lamar Jackson did everything you could possibly ask him to do except throw a touchdown pass. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he had over 100 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns. And he still threw the ball for over 200 yards, but it was just, I don't know what the hell happened here. Like they just,
neither.
Did they have a lot of, were they one of those teams that had like a bunch of penalties? Not really. No. I don't know what the fuck happened.
More penalties. I don't either, man. They lost 2 fumbles.
No, that's right. Yeah, maybe that's it. It's the fumbles.
Yeah.
Because the Colts, obviously, they had a decent game. Minshew wasn't great, but he was good. I mean, he was
Yeah.
27 for 44 and a touchdown pass. Zach Moss looked really good.
And he gave him 2 points. Minshew gave him 2 points, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he
Zach
stepped out of
Moss.
the back of the end zone.
That's right. He did the Orlovsky. Stepped out of the back of the end zone. Zach Moss looked great. 122 yards on 30 carries. Jesus Christ. Are they trying to kill this man?
Yeah.
Trying to kill this man.
They got Jonathan Taylor. They're like, well, we got Jonathan Taylor. He'll be back.
They don't give a fuck about this man. Overtime was kind of a hot mess. Like neither team looked like they were capable of scoring. It was just
Justin Tucker missed a kick.
Justin Tucker. Oh, and it was on target too, and it was just like 2-3 feet short.
Yeah, man.
I was like, oh, it's good, and I was like, oh fuck, it's short.
I want them to get out of there with that victory, man. Nope.
I mean, the Ravens obviously made a huge mistake in overtime. They went for it on fourth down in basically at midfield, and they failed, which meant that the Colts put together like 3 or 4 plays, and there they were in field goal range, and that was ball game.
But otherwise, they'd have been playing for a tie, and you don't want to play for a tie.
Unless you're Lovie Smith, of course.
Exactly. Yeah, so I get it. They were like, we got to do it. Time's running out. So
this is a tough one. This was, it was definitely a good game, good for the Bengals, who are struggling to put together their first win of the year, to see the Ravens lose, because this is not a game you would have expected the Ravens to lose against the Colts.
Yeah. We'll see tonight, man, because the Bengals get to play. Maybe they can keep up. The next game is the Panthers versus the Seahawks, and that's where Andy Dalton comes in.
Mm-hmm.
But why was Bryce Young out? What kind of injury did he have?
I think it's a shoulder injury.
Okay.
Or a rib injury. I can't remember. It's something because he's so short, and he's one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league since in the first
getting him beat up,
2 weeks. A lot of people thought that Andy Dalton actually gave Carolina a better chance to win this football game, and they did not. They didn't win, but he looked good. I mean, he's better than Bryce Young, Andy Dalton.
It reminded me of when Joe Flacco was the Jets quarterback and Zach Wilson was like struggling. And I was like licking my chops for us to go against Zach Wilson, but then we had brought that same defense against Flacco, and he's seen everything already, so he was kind of like picking us apart a little bit. We won the game, but it was like, oof. This is a veteran quarterback. It goes a long way. You've seen everything. But shout out to K9, though.
K9 had a hell of a night. 18 carries for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a lot of receiving yards, too. Almost 60 yards receiving. Shout out to Zach Charbonnet, too. Man, he only had like 46 yards rushing, but man, he does not look like he's very fun to tackle.
No, punishing runner.
Yeah, he does not look fun to tackle.
They have all punishing runners. DJ Dallas is a load too, and Kenneth Walker. Man, they're out here trying to bang you up.
And shout out to Seattle's run defense as well, because the run defense for Seattle is usually part of the problem. But it wasn't last night. They held them to 44 total rushing yards. They had a hard time keeping up with Adam Thielen, which is kind of problematic. It's not like some 30-something-year-old white guy. It shouldn't be hard to find him.
He was getting a lot of garbage time stuff too, though.
11 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
DJ Chark had some nice plays. But Seattle, once Seattle got the lead, it just looked like they were never going to give it up. They played smart football all the way to the end. They got involved into a bit of a dogfight here, but they managed to come out on top.
Yeah, after the half, because at the half they were down, and then it came they came out and pulled away and then stayed in the lead. So yeah, I was a little worried for a bit.
Yeah, because Carolina put up 14 points in the fourth quarter, so they had a nice surge to try and win this football game, but Seattle kind of matched them step for step and just closed this one out. So good for them. They're doing great. Starting the year 2-1. Carolina's obviously 0-3. I don't think you hit the panic button in Carolina because nobody had any real expectations for them this year.
No.
So yeah.
But when I know the one thing, when I get up into my 60s, I want to have as much juice in me as Pete Carroll, man. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that man.
Dude, he was running out, yelling at the refs. He threw his gum at somebody.
Yeah, he did.
He threw his gum, and they were like, I wonder if the guy's going to have to reload him later.
Crazy.
The gum reloader. Then we had the Bears putting up a good fight against the Chiefs, man.
This one's so close.
Yeah.
41-10.
We got to see another backup quarterback. We knew Blaine Gabbert was going to see some time in this.
Oh, yeah. Blaine Gabbert out here balling. Blaine Gabbert goes 3 for 5, no touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. Good job, Blaine.
But Patrick Mahomes is out here doing his thing, man.
I mean, this was an absolute joke. I mean, it was. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I've heard of a football team having a week like the Bears have had. You know, it starts with Justin Fields giving this press conference where he seems to blame the coaching for why he's not playing well, and then he has to come out and kind of clarify, and then he tried to go on defense and say that the media was putting words in his mouth, and then they
put my words in my mouth, man.
And then they went to all this trouble to release a picture of Justin Fields hugging his offensive coordinator, like, we're friends, we love each other. And then they go on the road.
Coordinator resigns. Don't forget that part.
Right. Defensive coordinator resigns out of nowhere. And then they go on the road to play the Chiefs. And while they're gone, like $100,000 worth of like maintenance equipment gets stolen from the Bears facility. It's like, what a weird week for the Chicago Bears. Like, nothing is going right for them.
Can we get to week 4?
It's so bizarre. I mean, Justin Fields is, he got to play the way he wanted to play. This is the the problem with this is that we can all sit here and say that, they need to take the leash off of Justin Fields and let him play the way he wants to play. But they did this last year.
Exactly.
And it didn't work. They only won 4 football games last year.
They should say that to him. Look, man, we tried your way. Do you want to win or not? Here's how we win in this system. Like, we can't win with what you're doing, man. You know what you get? You get people saying that you're fun and a good quarterback. But if you have as many rushing attempts as you do completed passes, we got a problem.
That's a good point. He has.
We got a problem.
He has 11 completions, and he also has 11 carries. That's a very good point. And he passed for 99 yards. I mean, it's like
Tannehill numbers yesterday.
Worse, I think.
Yeah, no, Tannehill had like 89 yards, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I feel bad, man. But I'm in I told you so mode. I've been out on Justin Fields for a while. He's a bad quarterback. They need to come to terms with that. I'm sure they have. I think he would be better in New York. So maybe they should try to get a trade going to try to revive something, get something from him, because they could probably fleece the Jets a little bit with to get Justin Fields.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it would work better in New York, and they would probably like get some type of offense that works for him.
I feel like the ghost of that, what has to be historically, in hindsight, one of the worst draft decisions of all time, moving up to the number 2 overall pick to take Mitch Trubisky instead of Patrick Mahomes.
Money making Mitch.
And then Mahomes comes in here and drops 41 points on your head like an anvil. It's tough.
Isaiah Pacheco, shout out to him, man. He has some pop.
He's also another person that does not look fun to tackle. Like his legs feel violent and angry.
I got one last shout out for this game too, man. Because we thought this guy was out of work, right? The guy who was always training the camera on Tom Brady warming up. Remember the Tom Brady warm up shot we always saw?
Mm-hmm.
That guy's been out of work until this game when he got to train the camera on Taylor Swift in the box the whole time. The Tom Brady warm up shot guy is back with the Taylor Swift celebration shot.
I don't know what to think about all this. Like, ultimately,
We do not care.
I did not care if Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. I'm not a Swiftie. I don't dislike her.
No.
I just don't care. And my kids played a bunch of her songs the other night because I said I don't even think I know any of her songs. And out of the 10 songs that they played, I think I had heard 2 of them. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I'm not interested. Right. That being said, the whole PR circus around it, the fact that she shows up at the game and she's shouting the "Let's fucking go" when Kelce scores a touchdown, it's fun. I get it. I get why the internet is probably breaking all over the place because of this. It's quite funny. These two,
but I would say that I want to throw in there that it's a downgrade from his ex.
You're so mean.
Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift, but Travis Kelce's ex was she was a bad one. That's all I'm saying.
Well, either way, we'll see how.
I'm done. I'm
we're all waiting. We're all waiting to see how long it lasts, and how many songs will she get out of her Travis Kelce breakup. So that's pretty much her MO, as far as I know. So yeah, good for them.
Yeah, man. All right.
Upset of the week?
Yeah. No, I thought we had upset of the week, right? What's up? Oh, the Cardinals, huh?
I'd say this is upset of the week.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Cardinals beat the Cowboys. I don't know how. I don't know what to make of this, man. This one messed my head up. I was watching it. I was like, how's this happening?
I can tell you exactly how. 2 things. One, they had a plan for Micah Parsons. And Parsons eventually did get a sack, but they had a legit plan for him, and it took a while for him to get involved in the pressures. And 2, the Cowboys, they had 10 first half penalties in this game. They were just killing. They finished the game with 13 penalties for 107 yards.
Damn.
And the other reason,
really bad. Oof.
The other reason why they won this game is because somebody just forgot to tell Joshua Dobbs and James Conner that they're going to suck this year.
Yeah.
These 2 guys are like, everyone thought the Cardinals were going to come out and everyone, and this again, how many times have we had this conversation that tanking is not real?
Right. Yeah.
I understand that the front office may make some decisions that lead you to think that this team is trying to create a scenario where it's going to be difficult to win. But those players who were on the field on Sunday, none of that shit matters. These guys go out there and play to win. And James Conner was just running dudes over. Joshua Dobbs was out here dealing, and he was making plays too. He had 55 yards rushing himself. And
sometimes it felt like they were like it was okay, game's over, because that's happened this season so far. Cardinals will pull out, scare everybody a little bit, then the team will come and win over them. But this time, it didn't happen, man. The Cowboys only put up 16 points, man.
And they nearly locked up CeeDee Lamb. Lamb had 7 targets, but he only had 4 receptions for 53 yards. And every time the Cowboys made a play that made you think they were going to turn this thing around, the one that was probably the most, the biggest gut punch for Cowboys fans was the punt return. Turpin had this great punt return where he nearly took it to the house, got them in great field position. I think they were only down by like 10 at the time or something, or maybe less. And it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is where it shifts right here. Holding penalty brings it all the way back. I mean, they kept stepping on their dicks all night long with these penalties.
Yeah, man. And then Dak Prescott afterwards was saying basically, well, you all are happy now. You put us on a pedestal and now we fall. And, now we can focus or whatever. It's like, yeah, shut up.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, man. Take your L. It's how it goes, man. You're a team that looked fantastic the first two games. Playing bad teams, by the way. I was going to say that. They've been playing bad teams, and this was another bad team. But this bad team got the best of them. Still the NFL. You got to beat them.
Shout out to the Cardinals because honestly,
yeah,
they lost obviously their first two games, but they looked feisty in both of them.
Yeah,
and they looked really like after having blown that huge lead to the Giants last week, you could really see the fire in their eyes in this game. They were like, I don't give a fuck who this is. Yeah, I get it. They're the Cowboys. We know who they are.
We got a plan.
But we're going to punch them in the fucking mouth and we're going to win this football game. And that was pretty impressive, actually. Yeah.
Final game. Raiders-Steelers.
Uh-oh.
In Vegas.
Uh-oh.
And the Steelers came out there and beat them. And,
It's time to go to the principal's office.
Our CCTV footage shows that Josh McDaniels right now is in the principal's office again. Yeah, man. They took an L, and it's you can blame it on coaching. You can blame it on Garoppolo not knowing how to handle pressure. Newsflash. Garoppolo can't handle pressure. Guess what the Steelers do? They pressure, and they got to him. They got to him over and over again, man.
Unbelievable. Jimmy Garoppolo, 28 for 44, 324 yards, half of them to Devontae Adams. He had threw two touchdown passes.
That was it.
But he also had 3 interceptions. He got sacked 4 times. I mean, like you said, he put him under pressure, and this man he's going to start seeing ghosts. And this Steelers defense is no joke. I was shocked that Vegas was favored to win this game, and you and I called it.
We both were like, "What is going on, man?"
We called it like when we were doing our bets. We were like, "There is no fucking way, no way, Steelers win this game."
And Garoppolo, he got folded up. Did you see he got folded up like an Alabama brawl folding chair?
Damn.
And but he came out all right. He limped for a little bit, but he came back and he finished the game. So I'm glad he's okay. Kenny Pickett, he gave us a little something.
Yeah.
He hit the deep post again. That seems like his favorite pass. But yeah, the Steelers, they did what they had to do, man.
I'm still a little concerned about the Steelers. I just feel like they're not going to win games unless their defense shows up every week. I've yet to see the offense be the reason why they won a game.
Yeah.
So I'd be a little worried about that. That being said, they went into Vegas. They folded Jimmy Garoppolo up like a fucking folding chair, as you said. Josh Jacobs is still just struggling for whatever reason. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's the offensive line. But for a guy who was last year's rushing leader, what a disappointing start to the season for him so far.
What about the other Josh who decided to go for a field goal with 2 minutes and 26 seconds left or whatever it was?
Yeah, explain to me the logic on that one. How much time is in the game?
2 minutes and 22 seconds left. They're down by 8.
Right.
It's 15-23. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left. They kick a field goal. And they never see the ball again. They've scored. They held the Steelers scoreless in the fourth quarter. So they've scored, and then they stop.
I mean, even if you score the touchdown and you fail to get the 2-point conversion to tie it, I don't think anyone is criticizing you for that.
No.
You know what I mean? So, why are you kicking a field goal in that It makes no sense to me. I don't understand.
Maybe they're thinking they haven't scored this quarter. We figured them out. When they get the ball back, we'll stop them and get the ball back again and win with a touchdown. I don't know. Because you're still going to need a touchdown. You're still down 5.
Exactly. Makes no sense.
So he's definitely in the principal's office with a math sheet in front of him so he can count.
When is their bye week? He may be the. If he keeps doing shit like that, he could be the first coach fired.
Nah, I think Brandon Staley's got to be the first coach. But it looks like the bye week is it's later in the season. It looks like it's after the Chiefs game, November 26th. I don't know what week that is.
Oh, well. We'll see. Yeah. Good win for the Steelers. Good for them. 2-1.
Yeah.
Unexpected.
Yeah, Steelers are 2-1, man. Some people said they were going to win that division that nobody can figure out. I think in the end, it's going to be like it's been the last few years where somehow the Bengals win.
We still, by the way, do not know if Burrow is going to play tonight.
Oh, wow. I think if you're smart, you just sit him, man. Sit him. Your biggest rival, like if the Ravens would have won, I could understand the pressure, but go ahead, man. Play him.
Yeah, because what's
sit him. Browning. Let's go, Browning.
Or they also just signed. Well, I wouldn't play him. They signed another quarterback, C.J. McCarron, I think.
Oh man, A.J. McCarron.
Didn't he A.J. McCarron. Exactly, A.J. McCarron. Yeah,
I remember that dude.
Yeah.
All right. You got any superlatives? I got some superlatives.
Yeah, I can start. I mean, we might be in the same neighborhood on this one. MVP. Some weeks there's really only one answer, and this week for me it's the Miami Dolphins running backs. Devon Achane, 18 carries for 203 yards.
Rook.
The rushing two rushing touchdowns, and then he had 4 receptions for 30 yards for another 2 receiving touchdowns. Mostert 13 carries for 82 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns plus 7 receptions for 60 yards and a touchdown. And then even this Chris Brooks, who I've never heard of, had 66 rushing yards. Who the fuck is that? Running backs.
Another rookie.
Running backs completely overshadowed the fact that Tyreek Hill had 157 receiving yards and a touchdown. I mean, this performance for a team that last year, I think McDaniel even said, it feels almost embarrassing that, how insignificant our run game was last year. We're not going to make that mistake this year. And through 2 games, I was pleasantly surprised at how well Raheem Mostert has played. But then Devon Achane just exploded onto the scene to announce that, this rookie running back, he's relevant, and he's going to – it's not always going to be the deep shot. These guys are going to run it right down your throat too. And I just – this was one of the most dominant running back room performances I've ever seen.
Good one, man. My real MVP is Mike McDaniel, and not why you think he is, because he was my MVP last week. This is a 2-week in a row MVP, but this one is because the Dolphins had 70 points. They had scored 10 touchdowns, and it was possible that they could put themselves in the history books. As we mentioned earlier, he's got some history with the Denver Broncos. There's some possible get-back vindictiveness that was involved in this game when he let Tua go off and stuck it to the Broncos big time. Even with the backups, it just was like just beating their asses, and now they could be the most scoring ever in NFL history. And it was 4th down, and they decided to take a knee and give the ball back to the Broncos. And I think that's what makes him the real MVP, because he put all the other shit aside. People would have definitely, if he did it, there would have been a sector of people that would have been like, oh, that's fucked up, that's unsportsmanlike. It would have taken the attention off of where the attention needed to be in this good football team that's forming down in Miami, and would have put it on if it was right or wrong for them to do that, and it would have been a distraction. and it would have been a question that they had to answer at their press conference and all this stuff. But he just set it aside, took the knee, and keep plowing along like a real MVP should. So that's why this week, Mike McDaniel, he's just showing like class. He's got the team believing. He's doing it in a different way. Real MVP.
Nice.
My trash for this week, Zach Wilson. Who's surprised by this, man? It's so obvious that this guy's holding his team back. The coach knows it. The team knows it. He knows it. The analysts know it. You know it. Skip, I know it. Everybody knows it. You got to do something. This defense is too good to just saddle them with the pressure of having to keep teams under 15 points just so they can have a chance to win. It's unfair to all the players that are putting their bodies on the line. They deserve better than Wilson. Defenses can stack the box, and there's nothing Wilson can do about it, despite having one of the top young receivers in the league. He took sack after sack, missed read after read, and finally found a way to give the defense points with that inexcusable safety late in the fourth quarter. There are options out there. This guy shouldn't be in the league. Zach Wilson, you are trash.
Good one. I'm actually going to go with Sam Howell.
Oh.
As my trash. Yeah. A lot of chatter coming into this game about how Sam Howell reminded a lot of analysts of Josh Allen. I don't know if they meant the interception-prone version of Josh Allen.
Hey, it is what it is.
This dude was 19 for 29, 170 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 4 motherfucking picks. And in a game where the defense played really well in the first half, Howell gets sacked 9 times and posted a 41.5 QB rating. I'm sorry, but it doesn't really get much worse than that. This dude, for me, is my week 3 trash.
Oh, wow. You got any shit got learned?
I do. A lot of times my shit got learned is something that I feel like I already knew, but this one actually genuinely snuck up on me.
Okay.
Watching this Sean Payton-led Broncos go 0-3 might be my favorite thing to start the season. He's already been out here trying to blame Russell Wilson without saying it completely out loud, claiming that he needs to change the verbiage of the play calls because Wilson is too slow. You know, and then it's like you go out and you get absolutely boat raced by the Dolphins.
Talk shit about the last coach.
Yeah, you talk shit about the last coach. You talk shit about the quarterback. Talk about how he should have been benched. And then, you know, your defense, which is, you know, it is supposed to save the day, just got completely dominated. And I think it just sort of reminded me, you know, Sean Payton has always been kind of a prick. I maybe some people remember this, maybe some don't, but I mean, I can remind you that this is the man who essentially won a Super Bowl on the backs of offering financial rewards to his own defensive players for injuring opposing players. Got suspended for a year for that shit. I mean, this is a man who got
suspended for a year, right?
Yeah, this is a man who did. Sean Payton got suspended for a year.
He was out for a year for that? I forgot.
Yeah.
I thought it was just Williams. Okay.
No, they made a whole movie about it.
Oh, shit.
That Netflix movie where, you know, fucking mall cop plays Sean Payton. He was suspended from the game for a year.
Okay.
He hates to lose, and I'm just loving the idea that after throwing all this money at Sean Payton's brilliant football mind into a, you know, and it just all resulted in a pile of shit for the Broncos. To be clear, Broncos fans, I've always kind of liked the Broncos, and I do hope that they return to a state of relevance at some point. But as long as you have Sean Payton as your coach, I feel like I'm kind of out on the Broncos. My Kyle Shanahan take is not maturing well, so I guess I'm sort of shifting it to Sean Payton. So you know, full disclosure, I'm just sort of Kyle Shanahan take is not working, so I'm just going to go with Sean Payton now. Fuck that guy.
Wow. All right, my shit got learned is the quirky coach revolution is in full throttle. Right?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, man. We made fun of Nick Sirianni and each individual speeches, each individual speeches.
Everyone in the building.
Wondered, we wondered if the allegedly half-black cool nerd Mike McDaniel will be able to get a room full of jocks to buy into his cool offensive scheme with his Yale concepts and whatnot. And now there's this Jonathan Gannon guy who thought it was okay to not commit to a quarterback a week before the season. He had the worst pre-season speech ever that was made fun of on the internet over and over, where he just sounded like, who is this guy, this weirdo guy? And then the season starts, and this guy's supposed to be losing every game big time, and these quirky coaches are just coming in there, and they're not leaders of men, but they're finding a way to get these guys motivated to win the game in a different way. And it's pretty cool, and it looks like the revolution is here to stay.
That's a good one. I like it. Can I tell a quick story about Mike McDaniel that I heard last week? I listened to the Ringer Fantasy Football podcast, and one of the guys on there was talking about a journalist friend of his who was covering the Combine, who somehow wound up in a taxi with Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
Like he shared a taxi with him. And as you do, you're sitting there sharing a taxi with someone you've never met before. The guy introduced himself. He said, "Hey, my name is so-and-so, and I work for blah, blah, blah." And Mike McDaniel turned to him with a complete straight face and said, "Oh, cool." He's like, "Hi, my name is Mike. I fold T-shirts at the Tennessee Titans Pro Shop. Nice to meet you."
And he knew it was Mike McDaniel?
Yeah, of course he did.
Oh,
and it's just like, he's such a weirdo. Man. I love this guy. He's very funny.
Yeah, man. He's he has what I forget what he said. He was quoting this thing. I forget what it's called, man. He was quoting some like Zen thing that he listens to, like of affirmations. I like his whole story, but he's just one of the revolution of coaches that I think is good for us and all of this toxic masculinity shit that we've been fed since we were little to know that, to think that's the way it has to be.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes it works, Dan Campbell. You know what I mean? Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's good to know that there's other ways that it can work.
Agreed.
My scariest AFC team. Come on now, Dolphins. Who's yours?
Agreed. What are we doing here? If you can't say Dolphins, I don't know. The team, you drop that many points on somebody.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And the scariest NFC team for me is the 49ers still, especially with the Cowboys dropping it like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, man. I'm hoping that changes. I want to see some more teams come up in there, man. Get scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could do my spec.
Okay.
Put some spec on Jordan Love, man. Hid in the shadows all this time. Had a little adversity at the beginning of the game. Came out. One with his legs, one with his arms. Got the victory because of a missed field goal. But, you know, he did what he had to do. And putting all of that pass monkeys on it. It's still a gigantic monkey on his shoulders. He's slowly and surely getting it off of his back. It's back or shoulders, whatever. He's getting the monkey off his back a little bit more. So put some spec on Jordan Love, man. You're going to have to watch out for that guy.
Agreed. I'm going to put some spec on the rook, CJ Stroud.
I like that.
Everyone throughout 2 weeks and in the preseason out here pumping the tires of Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson. But where were they in week 3? Injured. That's where. And my guy Stroud, who I told y'all was the real quarterback in the draft this year, just went out and dropped 37 points on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are supposed to be the easy AFC South division winner. 20 for 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, hooking up with Tank Dell for 145 yards receiving and a touchdown. I don't know how many games the Texans are going to win this year, but I would say they definitely got their guy. So that's why I think it's time for everyone to just reassess the rookie quarterbacks who came out of the draft this year and start to put some respect on this man's name.
Nice. Well, that's been the week 3 review episode. Finally, we got it done after doing it twice. But
what do you think was better, the rehearsal or the one we just did now?
I think the one we did now was better. It was more crisp. We got to the points. It was nice.
Everybody should rehearse their podcast first. Hot take. Do the whole thing without recording it, and then record and see how.
Yeah, who has time? Who needs to use their day to be productive? But thanks to everybody for checking it out. And because of the way our week is turning out, we'll be even more tuned in when we get to the Week 4 preview, and we'll be talking about tonight's game. Man, good luck to your teams if they're in the Monday night games. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon, man. It's been Jonathan Rollins.
Skip Mizara.
What's SveNFL? We'll holler at y'all. Peace.
Later, y'all.